Again, welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is a webinar on creating effective landing pages for conversions. What we're going to be looking at today is these 5 sections, looking at obviously landing pages specifically. I did a webinar and a kind of live session last year on the 7 must-haves for a high converting website, and landing pages was one of them. And I did say while doing that it could have its whole own topic. So this is why we've now got this webinar running. So we're going to be looking at, first off, understanding landing pages, what they are, what they're good for, why they're important. Have a look at some key elements of high converting landing pages. So the kind of things that you want to make sure that you're implementing on your landing pages itself. Design principles around that as well, and what makes it successful. How to optimize those then for conversion, and how you can create some compelling content that goes on those pages. Cool. So yeah, step 1 is understanding landing pages. So we're going to have a look quickly at what is a landing page, why they're important, and what their use is in marketing campaigns. So first up, what is a landing page? So a landing page is typically a standalone page on your website. So the reason I highlight in this, because you might all be sat there thinking, yeah, we know what it is because people can look at a landing page as, it might be your home page because it's where someone lands on the website. It could be a service page, or it could be something that talks about products that you own, products that you sell, something like that. But what we're looking at specifically is it's a page which is typically not on your menu. You may still send people there through the website, but it's somewhere that is very specific and is found generally through kind of like marketing campaigns or in another way. So that's why it's this kind of standalone page, and not necessarily something like a home page on a website. The page itself as well will be very focused and specific. So it has a complete reason why it exists, in terms of you're trying to promote something, sell something, provide an offer for somebody, but it's super focused in terms of what you're doing. So you're not talking about like broadly everything that you do as a service. It will drill down exactly into what you want to talk about on that page, and it can be to promote anything. So like I say, in terms of, you might go, well, we only do like 3 or 4 services or 10 services. So how am I going to get 30 or 40 landing pages? But you can use these to promote anything that you want on your website. So it could be your products, it could be your services, it could be an offer related to those. It could be events that you've got coming up that you're putting on, or webinars. It could be white papers that you have. So any kind of like evergreen content that you might roll out, or content that you update on a regular basis. Anything that you want people to kind of find and find value in, then you can create a landing page for it. And as we go through this, you'll see kind of how that stacks up as well. So why are landing pages important? Now, obviously, in name of this webinar, one of the reasons is that they help to increase conversion. So like I say, there's studies showing the more landing pages you have, the higher conversion rate you have as well. And there's also data that shows that 38% of conversions come through these landing pages as well. So obviously when people are using them effectively, they get more conversions than other things like contact forms or different elements on a website. And ultimately, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. We all have a conversion rate, or we have some way of getting leads through our website, and we want those to go up and that data to work effectively. Another element of it as well is that it's a great place to collect user data. So again, if we're, again, running a webinar or an event, or we're highlighting a white paper that we've done, or a kind of like how-to, some sort of information that somebody can use, then typically that'll be, we'll say it's gated, but there'll be a form or something for somebody to leave their details so that they can then take that white paper away or sign up to the event. So it's a way of, again, collecting user data and understanding the types of people that are interacting with your site, and their kind of desires and behaviors and those kind of things as well, which is always important in this day and age. It allows you to show value as well. So obviously you would do this generally through your whole site, but again, from that specific point of view, you can really highlight the value in a specific service, or in, it could be a subsection of that service in a certain geographical location, or it could be very specific areas around a product or offer that you're doing as well. So what is the value around that? And it is a key element in user journey as well. And I just mentioned that typically people will kind of get sent to these pages, maybe it's through a mail campaign, or they click on a social post or whatever it might be. but you can still send people to these pages from your website. So if you're talking about a specific service and you've got an offer on, then you can say, oh, click on this link and go through to that landing page. So it's still a key element in the user journey, and even if somebody comes to it directly, there's almost an entire user journey package in one. So it's kind of, they're going to get there, read all the information, understand everything about what it is, and then hopefully convert with the form or the action that they need to take. So it is definitely a key in that user journey process. And then we look at the use in marketing campaigns. So like I mentioned, whether you're doing PPC or organic marketing, so that could be through social, through different channels that you use, whether that's it could be direct mail or it could be email marketing. You want to use these landing pages to send people to very specific things. So if you've got an offer on and it's something that you'd only do certain times of the year, or you do once, it could be a one-off, you'll create a landing page for it, highlight all the benefits, and as we'll dig into a bit further, how you construct that landing page, and then you send people to those to get the maximum conversions that you can. Like I say, sending people to those pages. Which brings us on to then the key elements of high converting landing pages. So what are these? So the key elements really are the speed of the page, the quality content, personalization, call to actions, and forms. Now, with these 5 things as well, there probably are other things that you can look at, but I think generally these are the 5 most important areas. And you can look at those 5 things, and they are really important for a website just in general. So again, when I talked about landing pages in my previous session, the 7 must-haves, I said, everything that's in that 7 must-haves you should have on a landing page, because effectively, if you're sending somebody directly there and that's kind of their whole experience, it needs to work as well as the rest of the website does. So we'll dig into those now. So speed being a key factor, this is really, really important generally on a website, but also it's mega important from a landing page perspective as well. And why is that? The reason is, first off, is the user experience. So if I get sent to a landing page and I'm going to learn about something or understand an offer that's on, I want to have a good experience. I want to be like this guy, big thumbs up. So if someone's going to your main website, they need to get to that content quickly. People's attention spans are next to 0 these days. I've heard people marketers talking about video content before, and it used to be with video, you've got to grab people's attention within the first 3 seconds, and now apparently that's down to the first 1 second, which just seems absolutely bonkers. But like I say, the attention spans are getting shorter, everyone's getting bombarded with noise. So you want people to get to that page quickly, load that content, and they can start consuming it. I used this image in my last webinar, and I like it so much I'm going to try and put it in every webinar I do from now on. So keep an eye out for that if you come on future sessions. And speed also is important for SEO performance. So we'll talk about SEO a little bit later on as well in terms of content, but from an SEO perspective, when Google again are kind of indexing your pages and looking at the content on your page, user experience is a huge factor to that. So they want to make sure, again, like the Google Page Speed Insights score that you get, you need that to be high so that again the ranking for this is good in the SEO performance, because ultimately you can send people to that landing page through your campaigns, but people might also find that through organic search as well. So that you need to keep kind of both avenues open, and ultimately you want the most people to hit that page as possible. The second key element is quality content. So again, within the content, you want to kind of highlight the benefits. This is obviously important from a SEO perspective as well, but also from the user perspective. So what you're doing here is you're shouting about why what it is you're talking about is good. So whether that's a white paper or how-to, it's what are you going to learn at the back of it. If you go to an event, what are you going to come away with? Is it a networking opportunity? Is it the quality of the speakers? What are they going to learn from it? And again, if it's an offer on a product or service, is it that service can be delivered 4 times faster than anybody else, or is it that you're local and you use local workforce? Are you environmentally friendly? All these kind of things that you want to highlight as benefits to themselves. You want to show value as well. So again, like I was saying, it's similar to the highlight and the benefits, but what is it that the user is going to kind of gain from interacting with this and taking up the service or whatever it might be that you've got on the landing page. And then personalization. So this can come in, and it's not necessarily just going, oh, hello, Dave, welcome to our page. It's more about digging into the data that you have, segmenting that data so that you can understand, we've got a group of people over here that are, find this very valuable. They engage with this kind of content, and they like this kind of these kind of elements of what we do. And then you can send those. You could create multiple different landing pages and send different groups of your audience to those different landing pages. So, like I say, personalization isn't just that you've got that person's name and their personal details, and you're making that content around them. It can be a bit more generalistic in that, in terms of you're looking at them as a demographic, and then sending them that kind of content as well, and what works for them essentially. Call to actions. So call to actions are a really important element of, like I say, any website, but especially on a landing page as well. So this is obviously the call to actions ultimately lead to the lead generation. So you want to make sure that these are effective and working how you want it to. And I should say as well, the kind of landing pages that we're talking about, generation pages. So looking at these over the years, there are effectively two kind of camps. So you've got a lead generation landing page and a click-through landing page, and the click-through might be more these can be beneficial. So if you've got again a database of people, and you send out an offer to them to go to a landing page, it might be that the landing page actually just highlights the offer, and then they can click through to claim that, because you can kind of track who has accessed it and those kind of things, rather than it being you need to collect their data again, because you've already got it. So yeah, it's worth keeping that in mind. But lead generation is what we're kind of looking at here. Using click to call buttons as well. So if people are accessing this on mobile, or obviously on desktop as well, but it would be a bit less frequently on desktop. But you can track the phone calls as well of people that are coming through. So they might not necessarily want to fill out the form. They might just want to ring you directly and understand about the offer or service. So it can be important to focus on that as well. You can also use services where you can create like multiple different phone numbers based on the landing page as well. So you could put a different phone number on each landing page, which then if somebody is coming through desktop, then if they dial that number manually, then you can still track where that's come from and understand where that's linked back. Worth looking at something like that as well. And then for call to actions, you want to make sure these four things are prevalent as well. So make sure it stands out. So ultimately, this is what you're kind of trying to guide your user towards. So make sure it doesn't just blend in with the page; it jumps out at you. Be direct with your language. So talk about action statements. So whether it's download now or register here, don't be a bit wishy-washy or confusing. Over communicate. So this is a big one as well, and we'll dig into it on the forms as well in this section. But over communication means that if somebody does kind of register for an event, or goes through and converts on this page, talk about what the next steps are. So whether that's sign up now and then you can instantly download this file, or register for this event and then we'll send you all the information and then we'll see you on X date, or if it's more of a contact thing, submit this now and we'll get back to you within 24 hours, whatever it might be. So just really be clear in terms of what the user is going to get out the back of it, because they're more likely to convert if they know what the next kind of steps are. And then test and optimize as well. So where you've got the call to actions on the page, we'll talk a little bit about optimization in a minute, but you want to make sure that you're looking at things like Hotjar or Clarity data, understanding how people are kind of interacting with these call to actions. Are they in the right position? Are they using the right text? Are they in the right like coloring or whatever it might be, again, to stand out? So keep that testing process going and make sure you keep optimizing the call to actions on the pages. And then forms. So typically, the form will be the conversion point on a landing page. So first and foremost, we want to make sure they're accessible and easy to use, and easy to complete. forms are a massive bugbear of mine. They just seem to always be pretty bad on a lot of websites, and I just don't understand. There's just no need for it really. So yeah, make sure they're kind of accessible, easy to complete. Again, communication is a big factor. So where we're showing here, where there's like an error message on the email field, as well at the top, we're talking about, fill out this form and this is what you're going to get. So the amount of forms I've been on where it'll tell you there's an error, but it doesn't tell you where it is or how to actually correct that error to submit the form. It's just really ridiculous. So again, it should be easy to complete, but if there is an issue, it should be very clear in terms of communication how they correct that. Then automation is a really important thing as well here as well. So if you're using maybe a CRM or some way of collecting the data, you can generally set up things nowadays. There's lots of tools that do it, like automation processes and workflows. So if somebody does fill out this form, then you can automatically pull that data in. You can then send them an email automatically, whether it's with the white paper or a ticket for an event or whatever the offer is, and keep them in that kind of nurturing process. So just think about automation, how that works at the back end of the landing page itself. And then again, test and optimize. So if you're not getting quite the conversions that you want to get through the page, then have a look at, again, data in terms of, are people kind of filling out these forms and then abandoning them? What is it that, maybe, typically we would put a form up at the top of the page, but people might put it lower down. So is it in the right position? All these kind of things to have a look at to make sure that it's working effectively. So then number 3, we take a look at some design principles for landing page success. So the design principles we're going to take a look at are KISS, which you may have come across before, use of color, compelling headings, and using rich media. So first up is KISS, which stands for keep it simple, stupid. Now, I think there are other variations of that which maybe aren't so rude, saying stupid, but that's just always the one that I was told. And this is about remembering the aim of the page. So again, we want to make it, we don't want to overbloat it, we don't want to make it really confusing. We want to make sure that the focus of the page is being met, and we're hitting all those key areas in terms of the speed, and the content is focused and talks about benefits and all those kind of things. So don't overdo it with the page. Make sure that you're kind of keeping it lean. Keep it on brand as well. So you don't want to, doing more research for this webinar as well, there are landing page builder tools that you can get. Now, I'm sure, I've never actually used one, but I'm sure, they do the job. But I would be cautious of it. If you go and use one of those tools, don't make the landing page feel like a different experience to the rest of your branding or your website. So if somebody came from your website, you think through, you don't want us to feel like there's two completely different experiences. Like, hang on, where have I gone here? It should have the same look and feel. It should stay on your brand, and making sure that experience stays the same. Then the use of color. So color is a really important thing from a design perspective because of things like accessibility, which I think we'll talk about in a minute, but also through content separation. So where we're, like I say, this is kind of almost a mini website. We're going to have a form, we're going to have headings, call to actions, content, all these different things. We want to make sure that's easy to digest and not overwhelming for the user. So I've just got an example here from the Webbox website on our guides and documents page. So if you look at the version on the left, I've removed the blue banner that is in the middle for the kind of call to action area, and changed the text coloring so you can see it. But if you hit that page on a website or as a landing page and you kind of scan down it, the document section at the top, the call to action, the footer, they all kind of blend in together. So it just looks a bit, it looks a bit whitewashed there anyway, but it doesn't look very nice. You don't really know where to put your eyes. The version on the right, which is the actual live page, you've got the guides and documents section at the top with the white background. Then the blue bar clearly separates, and this is a new section. We're doing the call to action piece, and then you go down in the white background again. We've got the footer area. So it's just about that kind of separation there. Anyone who's jumping off for meetings and things, I'll just say, don't worry about it. Like I say, I'll follow up with the slides and video recording anyway, so you can check it out. But thanks for joining if you do need to shoot off. And then accessibility. So like I mentioned before, in terms of color area, so you want to make sure things like the color separation is in place, but also consider things like color contrast. So hopefully this is covered in kind of like branding as well, but just make sure that the use of color makes the page accessible to as many people as possible. And then compelling headings. So you want to use the headings to direct people's attention into the kind of sections of the page as well. So, within the main heading of the page, you want to put your offer or proposition. So what is it that you're kind of selling or offering here? Is it that white paper, that event, that money off, or whatever it might be, or what the person's going to gain out of it? So make sure that within oh, I've got me slides wrong around. It should be that one and then that one. But yeah, so make sure that it's clear through that heading what the user is going to get. Also the benefits and the value. So where you're putting the main content together and you're talking about benefits and values, you can use the headings to really highlight those sections. So if it's, the benefits of this service or the benefits of the event or what you're going to gain out of this, however you word that heading, make sure that it's really clear and the user's going to understand what they're going to get from that. Because most people, when they hit a web page, they're going to scan it first. They're not going to sit at the top and go through every single word. So I always bang on about headings on pages and make sure that you've got them in the different sections, because ultimately people are going to kind of scan through and go, oh, well, I'm interested in the benefits, or I'm interested in the content of the event itself. So they'll find those bits through the headings and then dig into that a bit more. They might not be so interested in another bit. So by using the headings to break that up, then it just makes it easier for people to consume that content. And then also the call to action. So where we are adding call to actions to the page, we want to make sure that the headings or the wording within the call to action is compelling as well. So like I say, using that kind of direct language, making sure it's clear to the user what they're going to gain through using the call to action as well, and get to the next steps. And then also using rich media. So this is something that most people will be doing on their websites nowadays anyway, but using images and video. So video, I did see a stat on this, but I can't remember it now, annoyingly, but it was saying how video basically on a landing page has a huge impact in terms of the conversion rate as well, because it can be that you're either doing a promo for something or you're talking about the benefits of it. But again, it's that kind of human connection between what they are looking at and what they're going to buy, even if it's like the product in motion or being used or something they can see interacting with. And then images, obviously, you don't want the page just to be a massive dump of text. You want to use imagery and things like video to kind of break that up and make it more visually appealing to the user. And also animations. So another element, something that we often put in, even from a subtle perspective. Obviously, you can go really far with them, but to make a page more engaging, use things like micro animations. Whether it's hovering over a call to action, it could animate and change. Whether it's having even as simple as having accordions. So you might have additional content at the bottom of the page, could be an FAQ, something like that, where you've got the questions themselves, and when someone clicks on it, it opens up and gives them that additional content. So just little elements like this that can again add to the page and give it a bit more of an engaging feel. Then number 4 is optimizing landing pages for conversion. So, if we've done all those elements, we've got our landing pages built, how do we then optimize them for conversion? So we're going to look at some different techniques. We're going to look at the importance of optimization ultimately as well. And also, I just wanted to mention the upcoming webinars. So I've got 2 webinars. You may have already seen them if you're on here, but if not, one is Understanding Website Performance Metrics, which is on Wednesday, the 13th of March. And we've got one on web analytics tools and their role in optimization, which is on Wednesday, the 20th of March. So they're both at 10:30 in the morning. So feel free, if you're interested in digging into those a bit more, join up to those as well. We'll be digging into it as a whole topic on its own. So looking at some different techniques that you can do to, again, optimize these pages. So the first one is A/B testing. You may have come across this before, you may have not, but essentially it's where you change an element of the page and then that page is sent out in 2 different versions to your audience. So half of your audience will see version A, half of your audience will see version B. So that could be that it's as simple as changing an image. So it could be, on one, there's a picture of a baby, the other one is a picture of a dog or something. or it could be that you change the wording in a call to action, or you change the positioning of it. So it's all these small things that you can do to again, see which one converts better and then make those changes over time. I would say, again, the downside of A/B testing can be that it takes quite a lot of time. So unless you're getting if you're getting a lot of traffic to that page, then it's good to do A/B testing, because you can use a large amount of data to understand, which ones are working better. If you're getting 3 people a month, then it's going to be much more difficult to A/B test in terms of just the sheer number of data that you get. So keep that in mind as well when you have a look at A/B testing. Again, personalization, so we talked about it earlier, but it's just really important in terms of making a page engaging, because again, you're highlighting the specifics to the user that they want to find out more about. So if somebody you've got in your database, or you've got information on them about the kind of likes and dislikes that they have, or the kind of products that they typically look at, or services they've typically looked at on your website, you can then obviously tailor that content on the landing page to them. So you're not sending them something that is completely irrelevant to what they are interested in. You're sending them stuff that they're going to be engaged with and ultimately more likely to convert. Speed optimization. So we mentioned speed earlier being an important factor, but speed, again, once the landing page is live, because it's part of the overall website, it could over time start to slow down. So it might be that it's the specific landing page itself, maybe putting video on there, putting images on there will slow the page down, or other elements like animations. But if the whole site overall starts to get a bit bloated, then it could slow everything down. So make sure that you're doing things like checking on the Google Page Speed Insights tool, whether that's monthly or quarterly or however you do it, but do it on a regular basis so that you can see how the performance is going. And then if you've got a relationship with an agency or with a developer, then they can help you to make sure that the code is kind of as clean as possible. You ideally don't want a million plugins and all these things kind of bloating the site. You want it to be as lean as possible. I didn't mention things like imagery there, because generally you can control that yourself. So make sure that you're reducing image sizes. Don't upload 20 meg images. They should be reduced down to the necessary sizes. But if you have a look at WebP as a format, so that's where we'd use kind of JPEGs or PNGs. You can now use WebP format, which is just a web-based image format, and it compresses the image down further. A good tool to use for creating images in WebP format is tinypng.com. So feel free to have a look at that and see how that helps as well. And then last but not least, number 5 is creating compelling content. So again, we want the content to work for the user. So we're going to look at the importance of content, the strategies for different content, and then some tips that you can use within that as well. So the importance of the content, it adds weight to the offering. So where we're talking about a product, service, event, white paper, whatever it might be, the content obviously is then backing up the credentials behind that. So it's talking about, what benefits are, all those kind of things that we talked about, what it is that they're going to get out of it. It's selling and convincing. Again, if there was no content on the page, then they're not going to get the full force of what's going on. So it's all about adding those elements in to ultimately make somebody want to convert. And then the strategies for a content is we want to cover the key areas. So make sure that you're talking about all the main things that are relevant to the product or service or whatever it is that your advertised on the landing page is. So where we talked again about benefits, about all those different elements, you want to make sure that you're covering those within that content of the page, and don't miss anything out or leave anything on the cutting room floor. Focus on the user. So this is quite a common one as well. We talk about it in our website audits with people and their content on the website. Don't write the content as in, we've been in this business for 10 years, and I know I started off this webinar saying I've been working for 15 years, but saying we've been doing this for 30 years, and we do this and we do this, we do this. It's flipping that so that you're focusing on the user. So it's going, by using this product, you'll save 50% admin time, and you'll learn all this stuff, and it will increase your profits by 200%. Whatever that is, you want to focus on the user and what they're going to gain out of it, rather than talking about what you've done or what you've put together or how you've kind of done that as well. Social proof is a big thing as well. So this is a great place to put things like whether it's like star ratings, Google or Trustpilot, whatever that might be, as well as testimonials. So if people have used this service or product before, then you can put the testimonials on there again to back up the benefits of using it, and ultimately make somebody want to get involved in it more. And then some tips for writing the content as well. So the first up is knowing your audience. So like we talked about in terms of personalization, understanding who you're targeting, what it is that they are going to kind of want from this service, or whatever it is that you're concentrating on the landing page. But also, again, it's an element of that personalization piece is sending them to the right area. But yeah, talking about the things that your audience are going to want to will resonate with. Using facts and figures. So like I say, if you can intersperse your content with kind of like more hard evidence, so it's again like talking about increasing by X% or reducing work time by X%, whatever that might be, or the delivery is X% faster than anyone else, or X times faster, or how that actually looks. Again, it just backs up, because if you just say, come to this, maybe I should think about this more with the webinars actually, but it's like, come to this webinar or download this white paper and it will help you grow your business. It's like, well, I don't really know what that means. And if it's more like, come to this webinar or download this white paper and we can increase your leads by 75% and do this by X%, then again, it just adds that, people want to get involved with that and understand what they're going to gain out of it. Encourage action. So again, within the content, within your call to actions and things, you want to make sure that you're encouraging people to get in touch or get involved or take an action and get to that next step. So make sure that you're peppering that in throughout the content as well. And also keep SEO in mind. So we talked about SEO in terms of bits of content and the speed as well, but also the SEO perspective of things like keywords and things like the kind of context around what it is you're talking about. Make sure that you're still adding those elements into the page. So FAQ content could be a great way of doing this, but also the keywords, the elements that people are kind of searching for. So again, looking at that organic content. You can use things like Google Search Console to understand if people are searching around these services or these products or whatever it is that you're offering, and you can put those kind of keywords into the content to try and help SEO your SEO ranking through the organic searches as well. That is going to get more and more difficult as well with Google updating to the generative AI results. But again, that'll be another topic probably later on in the year we'll have a session on. Cool. So that brings us to the end of our 5 sections. So just as a quick review, like we say, understanding landing pages, they're super important for your website and for conversions, and the more that you can get on the website, the better. Some key elements are making sure that they are clear, they're easy to use, they're fast, the forms are effective, you've got good call to actions. The design principles, again, using color to separate different sections, make sure you keep it simple, make sure that the focus is on what you are trying to offer. Optimize your landing page, so use things like A/B testing, use Hotjar, Clarity data to understand how people are interacting with the site and the page, and make those small adjustments through time to make sure that the optimization and the conversion rate stays as high as possible. And then creating compelling content, focus on the user, turn the rhetoric onto them, what they're going to benefit from, use things like facts and figures, and consider SEO and make sure that you keep that in mind. There you go. Look, that's like a 2-minute wrap up of the whole thing. thank you for listening. Again, I really appreciate everybody joining in. It just makes doing these things worthwhile. Thanks for all the thanks in the chat as well. If you're not signed up to any of our other webinars coming up over the next few weeks, please do join up to them. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll hopefully see you soon.